Let's get ready for a start. A couple of wipers on, looking back through the field. James Kanduris on the inside, but remember, the inside here is grid 2, so he'll have to fall back a little bit behind Max Twigg. 2 Porsches on the front row.
A rolling start for this category, and they all have to roll through their grid positions.
They're under strict instructions from the category management to make sure they kept the gaps and came over the grid spots correctly, which they've done, and it looks like it's a clean start today. Tony Quinn on the inside, that's the Aston Martin that caused a few little dramas yesterday, side by side with Peter Hackett. Hackett's got the inside line on the run out of 2.
Yeah, you have to say Tony Quinn was pretty gentle there, allowed them all through nice and clean.
Jim Richards in the 997 Porsche Cup car. He obviously is about 100 horsepower down on some of the leading Porsches here, so it's always a strong effort to see Jim Richards well up inside the top 10.
I think that was Grant's Porsche that slipped up the inside of Tony Quinn in the Audi.
That is a fantastic looking car, the Audi. It's only its second meeting here in Australia.
Tony Quinn problems again, has he?
Problems again by the look of it, mate. He's pulled to the inside. This is the car, this is the Aston Martin, the VIP Aston Martin that had a few dramas yesterday. Hopefully he can get that off the circuit. What happens is they said it triggered a problem with the fly-by-wire throttle, and it just goes into a complete limp mode. So it looks like it's done it again. O'Halloran in the 430 Ferrari.
You got to remember that Tony Quinn hasn't been campaigning this Aston Martin. He did some damage to his Mosler in Adelaide a few weeks ago, and he's gone back to this car for this weekend, but it's not been too kind to him at all. No,
he hasn't. Look, it's probably he didn't come here with the preparation he probably would have liked. He was going to campaign a Mosler for the complete season, but as he had a problem in qualifying at Adelaide and backed it into the wall. He actually hit the wall forwards, then backwards, so he got both ends, and extensive damage, and still waiting for some parts to be flown out from Europe for that car.
You mentioned to me the other day, you said, I'm really surprised that the Porsches are suiting this Albert Park circuit so well. Why is that?
I am. As you look at Dean Grant's Mosler there, they're based more on a GT1 car, so the Mosler coming onto the front straight, you can see it in the background there. That's a very aerodynamic car. It's got a lot of horsepower. It's basically a flat bottom car, like driving a single-seater. It should be extremely fast around here, whereas a Porsche should be more suited to the tight, twisty, bumpy type circuits. But look, the guys in the Porsches, they're doing a sensational job.
John Bowe sits in 5th. It's his first drive in this car this weekend. It's an Ascari. As Craig's mentioned before, we'll get some more information on that car about its history, but obviously Alberto Ascari won 1952 and 53 world titles. And John Bowe driving that car named Ascari this weekend. You say it's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I spoke to him this morning, and he said that it just needs laps in it. That's all he said. You know, he came here absolutely cold. You can actually see Tony Quinn in the background. He's got the thing going again. So he's obviously just having a few. I wouldn't even call them teething problems, but whatever happened yesterday with the ECU and the limp mode, it's obviously still happening. But as I said earlier in the commentary, it was a real shame not to see Mark Sini out here. Fantastic competitor, and you know, one of the real characters in the GT pits. Looks like either a bonnet or a boot.
That's going to bring out a safety car. And there's the yellow Ascari, John Bowe that we were talking about. So he sits behind Hackett.
David Wall in the Porsche Cup S. And there is the bright yellow Ascari of John Bowe.
John was saying to us this morning, he said, you know what, I felt racy, I'm feeling good in the car, but he goes, the brakes on that Porsche is strong. Can he get this up the inside?
This is done.
Oh.
It's not done. David Wall, he came here with a mindset. He's running quite a high parity. We've got a replay of the rear of the Maserati coming off. So that's what we saw the Marshall risking his life and limb to go out on the circuit and get.
I bet you that's a piece of cheap equipment too, huh?
Yeah, that's probably a $10,000 boot there. But yeah, as I was saying, David Wall, he's leading the championship. He's the current GT champion. And he said, Beto, my car's not the right car for here, but he said, I want to bag a whole lot of points. He said the only way to win a championship, as he knew last year, is just complete every round, complete every race, keep his nose out of trouble. He knows John Bowe may not be doing the rest of the championship in the Ascari, so more than happy, I would imagine, if it comes down to it.
Let him through.
Push and shove, let him go.
Yep.
And that's the sign of an intelligent racer. And look, David Wall's he's been doing a huge amount of racing. His father is a great competitor. In fact, his father is the national sport sedan champion in a Corvette. So a lot of family miles going on in racing. They raced at Sepang 12-hour together, and just a great family. And I love to see David Wall getting results. He's just one of the nice guys in the pit lane. The Konduras coming in there.
Now you speak of family, the Konduras, they're Konduras brothers.
Konduras brothers, James Konduras and Theo. Theo qualified on pole here and had a few dramas, had a spin in race 1, and went from a pole position one day to the back of the grid the next day.